Hello everybody, this is Roberto Parker with Innovative Sports Training. It's time for another video blog today. Now today we're going to talk about the Primal 10 movements. I believe as human beings we should train this way. We should train the way that our primitive forefathers and ancestors lived more than 10,000 years ago. They had to fight, scratch, claw every day to survive. They had to hunt, they had to gather. And yes, I'm a big believer in paleo eating, yes, but I'm not going to talk about that today. Now, I don't believe we should necessarily live exactly like they did, but we should incorporate a lot of those movement patterns in our lifestyles, in our daily activities. They are pushing, pulling, squatting, lunging, climbing, striking, crawling, jumping, twisting, and bending. Those are the fundamental movements that the good Lord gave us. Every single day we need to find some way to incorporate these. Now, why? Because there are multiple muscles engaged when we do these things. You get a lot more bang for your buck. They're not isolated in movement patterns like laying on your back and pressing a bar off your chest or doing an arm curl. The strength emanates from the belly button out to the limbs. The limbs don't emanate the strength. The belly button, the core muscles emanate the strength. Typically, these exercises are ground-based. There are some exceptions. Squatting is one of the fundamental exercises that, in my opinion, is not done enough in our society today because we sit on our butts too much. Now, right there to the far left is a picture of Tim squatting with his arms extended using a 15-pound kettlebell. A lot of muscles firing there. Arms, legs, butt, back, upper back, and abdominals. In the middle, there's a picture of Julie doing a one-legged lateral squat. Now, her right leg is on the floor, and she's getting a lot of quad and lateral hip area developed. And her left leg is elevated on top of a box with her toe pointing up. A lot of inner thigh area getting trained there, the adductor area. To the far right, we have a cartoon character guy there who's doing a pistol squat. Those are not easy to do. You can do them, they're doable, not for the beginner. It takes a lot of good core strength and stability to do those, but it's a very, very good exercise. Pulling. Now, there's a group of ladies up there in the corner who are doing some 4-point rows with dumbbells, nice flat backs, core muscles nice and tight, arms getting worked, legs getting worked. Very good exercise. At the bottom there, there's a young man doing a pull-up with his legs elevated up, body in an L position. That makes the exercise more challenging because you're using your midsection to stabilize your spine there as you do a pull-up. A lot of bang for your buck. Pushing. There's Matt there, who's now in the military, serving in the U.S. Army. Thank you very much there, young man. Pushing a 200-pound sled. Arms are not moving, but legs are moving. But I guarantee you those arms are working. And so are those back muscles, and so are those abdominal muscles. Now, obviously, his legs are working as well. There's a picture of Jill doing suspension band, suspension TRX push-ups. Now, because her feet are elevated there, which is more for the advanced, you can do these on the floor as well with your feet on the floor. But because her feet are elevated, there's going to be more instability. With more instability, more muscles are firing. Striking, sledgehammer strikes. Squatting, extending, coming down aggressively, striking the tire with the sledgehammer. Very, very good exercise. Do that for about 4 minutes non-stop and you'll feel it. Now, punching a bag. Upper right-hand corner, there's a picture of Joel. I'm holding the bag for him. He's doing a series of jabs, crosses, uppercuts, hook punches. Boxing is one of my favorite. Kickboxing is one of my favorite because all your forces are coming from the ground up. You got a lot of things going on there with the body. A lot of muscles being engaged. Now at the bottom left, he's doing a front snap kick, which is good. Now that takes a degree of balance. Still working a lot of core muscles, still firing up those glutes. A lot of things happening there. Twisting. Okay, at the top left, he is doing a Russian twist. Because you're on a stability ball, there's more of a degree of instability. Now at the bottom there in these two pictures, there's a picture of Joel and I again tossing a medicine ball to one another. I call it baling the hay. You're catching, receiving, catching, receiving, catching, tossing. You're working a lot of abdominals, a lot of back. Works your biceps quite a bit too, actually. And just a darn good workout. Make sure those knees are bent when you do these. Bending. Now Chris there with the bar on his shoulders is doing a good morning. Flexing the hip, slightly flexing the knees, flexing at the waist. Buttocks, hamstrings, lower back, and some upper back. Make sure that back is flat when you do these. Now our cartoon guy there, he is doing a good morning. Excuse me, not good morning, an RDL. Now RDLs don't load the back quite as much as good mornings do, but you're still getting a back workout, not to mention a lot of glute and hams there. Jumping. Now Brandy there at the top left is jumping up some stadium stairs. There's about 10 rows of those, holding a 20-pound medicine ball. You can see her muscles are protruding there. I don't recommend this for everybody unless you're pretty advanced. You can do these in a lower step with no medicine ball, but those are 18-inch steps. Now, because you're jumping, it shocks the muscles even more when you're landing. Holding a 20-pound medicine ball puts even more of a load on your midsection and your arms and your back. So it's a pretty darn good workout. Now, jumping rope. I'll challenge you to do this. Jump rope for 5 minutes versus jogging or getting on a treadmill for 5 minutes. Tell me which one's harder. I think you say the jumping rope is harder because you have more multiple things going on. Balance, coordination, landing, shocking the muscles, a lot more going on. More bang for the buck. Crawling. Now, when people come to me for training, I have them crawl, they look at me like I'm crazy if they've never done it before. They never think about it. But you think about a young baby. What do babies do? They crawl until they can learn to stand up and walk, of course. Crawling is a way to evolve. It strengthens your arm, it strengthens your back, it strengthens your midsection. Some people that I train can't even hold their body up to crawl because they're so weak in their abdominals and their back area and their hips. Now, there's a picture of me there crawling. That's a Spider-Man crawl. Notice I'm stretched out quite a bit there. It's also a good stretching exercise. Now, the people on the right there are crawling up a hill. Now, you can also do those going backwards. Crawling up a hill loads the body more because you're going against gravity. Lunging. Now, the young lady on the left there is lunging with her left foot on the ground, heel nice and flat, spine nice and flat there, good posture, eyes focused straight ahead because her back foot is elevated and a strap there on a Pro ST suspension system. There's more of a degree of instability, which creates more muscle engagement through the midsection and the hips. Now, Bond there is lunging with a couple dumbbells, one in each hand, more of a weighted lunge, more of a strength component there. Climbing. Now, the picture on the left is a group of people climbing a cargo net, which is kind of like crawling except you're going vertical. But there's also some instability because those ropes are moving around as you're climbing up that cargo net there. I love cargo nets. Now, there's a picture of Jill climbing up 2 ropes. Now, she's using her legs quite a bit. And you can do these without using your legs, which adds a lot more load to the arms and to the back area. But climbing rope is a lost art because of our soft society and PE classes. We don't do enough of it anymore, which I think is a shame. But climbing before TRX was the real and true suspension system. Old school, which I love. Sprinting up a hill. Now, sprinting also has a lot of metabolic advantages in that it helps to produce more growth hormones. Sprinting is basically a fast bounding type of lunge is what it is. You're getting a good stretch, you're rapidly moving the arms, you're having to stabilize your midsection so your body doesn't trip and fall forward. There's a lot of good things about sprinting. They're going uphill, which makes it even more intense. Sprinting, by the way, is full speed, ladies and gentlemen. Now, sprinting is not going to probably be more than, I'm going to say, a minute. Now, if you're not advanced, do 5-second to 6-second sprints. Then kind of work your way up. There are times I will have my clients do 100-yard hill sprints. Sometimes we'll just do 10-yard sprints. So we vary it up there. Change is good also for the body. Multi-plane movements. Now this is a video I'm going to click on here. Here's a picture of my son Wyatt. He is doing a muscle snatch, and at the end of the video he'll do a split with it. Right there, there's a split. Now what do we see there? We saw jumping, we saw lunging, we saw squatting, we saw extending, we saw pulling. A lot of different things going on there. Now, if you're kind of new at this, I recommend using maybe just a broomstick or a dowel rod or something like that. Just start out slow and progress yourself up there. Now here's a picture of, a video of Mark tossing a bag over a fence and jumping over the fence. Now what do we see there? He squatted to pick up the bag. He lifted the bag up, a pulling motion. He twisted to throw the bag over the fence. He climbed onto the fence, which requires some extension of the arms, which is like pushing. Then he jumped over and climbed the fence and jumped over the fence. A lot of things going on there at the same time. Guys, we're getting towards the end here. Now, I offer classes, nutritional consultation, therapeutic consultation. Write down my website information, get in touch with me. I have all kinds of things going on, which I'll talk about here in a few seconds. Web address, knowyourfoodtypes.webs.com, istworkshops.webs.com, istfastandfurious.webs.com. Phone number 816-405-7703. Call me up. We'll talk about a special deal I'll give you. Here's some more information. I have video blogs, which I'm doing right now, obviously, which are posted on my websites. You can check those out. I have a Facebook forum. You can write in questions and interact with other people. A good informative way to get information about health and fitness. And I also just have a blog, a good old-fashioned blog that I write. Guys, thanks for listening today. If you have any questions, please get in touch. And God bless. Have a great, great day.